Okay, yeah, we're live now.
Bam,
Hopefully.
motherfuckers.
I was gonna tell you I do try to keep a PG-13 show.
Oh shit!
Just right off the rip.
Right
That
off
happened
the
last
rip.
time too. I think Zerp jumped in immediately with a little bomb there.
Yeah,
How you
yeah.
doing?
Okay, PG-13.
PG-13.
All right,
From now on, PG-13.
I'm with it. I'm with it now. JC Ice, baby.
How was your day?
Oh, pretty good, man. How about you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. I didn't get everything done I wanted to today because of the rain, but it was bad storms here. Not bad storms, but just heavy rain over and off and on, and it just kind of threw everything off for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise,
it's sunny as fuck out here. Geez, man, this is gonna be tough. I mean, I'm gonna get there, but it's might be some struggles.
set up a tip jar just for you to have to put money into.
I know. Every time I swear, you have to tip Kurt Jangle.
Yeah, you give me $1.
I'm not paying. You guys are.
I'm setting up a Patreon for this, so hopefully that'll
nice.
The tips will go to that.
Nice.
And then maybe I can get some stuff where we're not have the audio issues we've been dealing with.
We shall see.
I'm going to go ahead and post in the places that deserve posting at.
Yes, I just did.
Oh, you got one up already?
I did. Sure did, partner.
All right, repost that. Yeah, I don't know enough about it to get into it in the news portion. So, right off the top, I just saw there were releases, WWF releases.
Yeah. It looks like quite a few people actually.
Yeah, Baszler and Strowman among them.
Yeah. Trub-a-dub-dub in the chat. What up, buddy?
Let's see, where are they? Hey, we out here. Nice.
We out here. That's right.
So, okay, here's something I want to fix. I don't know. Every time I pull up somebody's chat message, I get the little circle with an M. I don't know how to change that M to something else.
I don't
know. Anybody knows, at least change that to a K or something.
If anybody wants to help the boomers figure this out.
The old guys.
Very, very much appreciated. So there was some releases, and it appears they are ongoing, but I did get the notice from Fightful Select as we were flailing during testing.
That's a polite way to put it.
Yeah. Hey, I'm nothing if not polite.
Yeah.
So it looks like Caden Carter, who I don't know who that is, Dakota Kai, Braun Strowman, Shayna Baszler, and Katana Chance. And then second round was Gigi Dolan, Cora Jade, Riley Osborne, and Eddie Thorpe.
Wow.
I don't watch NXT, so I barely know who any of these people are.
The NXT ones don't surprise me, but Strowman and Baszler surprise me a lot.
Yeah. Well, Strowman, I mean, I think he's a guy with a short shelf life. We are hearing that your mic is a little low, Mr. Jangle.
Yeah. See what I can do about that on my end.
We will
see. I brought it back to. I'll just talk louder. I brought it back into my room because the other week when we did it, I was broadcasting out of the office space in my apartment complex. I was getting a lot of room noise.
Yeah.
Just a lot of echoey room noise. I didn't like that. I was like, well, I'll probably get better sound in here, but it's just not loud. There's something going on with all my audio setup, and I need to work on that. But it's a work in progress because this is officially the first episode of the pregame with Kurt Jangle. I am Kurt Jangle, the only adult on the internet, and today I'm joined by the rising tide of professional wrestling podcasting, iBlade Daily, co-host of the Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out podcast, and the official producer and cat wrangler on The Hard Way with Brett Michelle, among other accolades, and one of the co-founders of the Sickos Network. Do you want to tell people about the Sickos Network that might be joining us from Parts Unknown?
Yeah. So thank you for having me on, sir. Great honor to be joined by one such as yourself. Last week or 2 weeks ago was episode 0. And you know, this is episode 1. Big time energy, making, giving the boomers a little bit of.
That does make me feel better.
Yeah, we feel a little better. Thank you, big time energy. But yeah, we are, the Sickos Club is a 4-person collective. It started out that way. Basically, we are people who just kind of conceived what would happen if the weirdo art kids and queers made a wrestling thing. And it kind of proceeded from there. And we are very gradually beginning to assimilate some podcasters into our domain. Yourself, Troubles with Weekly Wrestling, who is doing from Crockett to from Chaos to from Crockett to Chaos. Yes.
Yeah.
Podcast. We have Brett Michelle, that I am the reluctant cohort of, and we're doing we're doing a whole bunch of other stuff. And like you said, I'm the co-host of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out. We recently hit our 1-year anniversary of founding the podcast, and super proud of it. Just super proud to be in a position where people care about what we have to say,
Yeah. And that's why I referred to you as the rising tide of professional wrestling podcasts. It's just kind of bringing everybody else up with you, seems like.
That's great to hear. I honestly just, anybody can do this shit. If I think the biggest thing that gets in people's way is they just don't know how to start. And if they can learn from me, like, I'm just a dumbass who likes to talk about wrestling a lot, and I talk about it a lot on my show. And I just did it. I didn't think about doing it. I just did it. So, I really feel like that's all it takes, is you just got to dive in and keep going for it
That's true. Troubles in the chat basically echoed that sentiment. And the same thing I was thinking, that's kind of why I'm here. I've been kicking this ball around in my head for a while, and seeing everybody in the Sickos Club just getting up and doing it reminded me. I was like, oh yeah, this is what, punk rock and the hardcore scene trained me for, is just doing it. Like
100%.
Not having to, get a financial backer and ask permission or anything. Just, it's DIY, baby. Just get up there and go.
Well, I think a lot of the world today kind of makes you feel like you need to have like money behind you and like have all your shit together and everything has to look perfect and be perfect, and like, fuck that, like, that's why things are so homogenized and kind of just sound the same and look the same. And it's this celebration of homogenization, which, fuck that. Like, we need original people with original ideas who come in at the ground floor and are willing to just put themselves out there. That's how you get wild, wacky fucking people participating in this kind of shit. So that was terrifying, but thank you.
I'm going to play that noise every time you cuss.
Oh. I almost cussed again in response. So the theme of this podcast is quickly becoming evident. It will be about me trying not to cuss.
Yeah. Well, the theme of the podcast is really just, getting everybody ready for the weekend, the pregame, kind of going over the news of the week, having some snacks, having some drinks. I got a poppy right now.
Nice.
Probiotic soda. You got good old H2O with you?
I got H2O, buddy.
Nice.
I got H2O. I don't have like a snack handy at the moment.
I failed on the snack thing too. I had a taco, but I was hungry, so I ate that.
This was your idea, man.
No. I can't even get the audio right. You think I'm going to get the snacks right?
Well, Kurt Jangle, I think we can tell the people you are the future voice of the Sickos Club Network. When people hear, I want a Sickos Club Network stinger at the beginning of our shows, like you are listening to the Sickos Club or whatever.
You've been listening to the Sickos Club.
Yes, that's going to be you. And when we do ads and stuff, I want it to be you. My basic premise is, look, Troubles, you're going to get me in trouble, okay? Like, I can't say the words. Like, I'm trying not to say the words. And I got little devil in the chat over here. But what, like, how there used to be a movie trailer guy that did every movie
Oh, the
trailer.
voice, yeah. I can't remember his name, but he was, yeah.
He just did it till he died, didn't he?
Basically.
I mean, fuck. I swear a lot, all right, let's talk about something that's relevant.
Okay, yeah, it's Don LaFontaine. That was there we go. Big Tim energy with the assist there. Yeah.
Somebody just pulls that out of the air. Wow, big
time
energy.
World.
Thank you.
In a world where Blade won't stop cursing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'll forgive you.
I'm just apologizing to all the.
I don't have a box to put you in, so I can't do anything about it.
Yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just said you just go for it. You know what I mean?
Instead of shaming you, let's talk about a little bit of real American embarrassment. Hulk Hogan and Bischoff back at it. Black and white promo videos.
My God.
So I've watched this a couple times, at least as much of it as I can stand.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured out what it reminds me of. It's like, you ever watch a movie and there's a scene in the movie where people are supposed to be drunk or on drugs or something like that. And you can tell nobody on set that day has ever done drugs or been drunk.
Yes.
Enough to like tell them actually how to act.
Yes. Right. Hard to believe, but yes.
So that's what it reminds me of. Just two old guys trying to act.
It's
trying to act like they're on drugs because it's cool to them.
I honestly think Hulk Hogan 1 is on a lot of drugs or something. I don't know what's going on with him. But he just doesn't even sound like the guy I remember at all anymore. Bischoff looks so desperate. And his heart is not in this.
No.
But he needs money.
Yeah, he's getting into his Ric Flair
dial-a-grift.
Ric Flair, for lack of a better word.
The Flair.
The Ric Flair.
Yes.
Because I'm going to promote anything I can to make a little bit more money because I've got
the AEW
everywhere.
ship has kind of sailed, So so after they surpass Nitro, what does Bischoff's business acumen really mean anymore?
I don't know if anybody else read this. There was a Forbes article about it. And I was scrolling through it, and Bischoff, they asked him about AEW surpassing Nitro. Mm-hmm. And Bischoff said something along the lines of, yeah, I'm happy for him. That's good for him if he feels like that's something important.
Yeah, and he said, I don't really care. And it's like, yes, you do.
Of course it's something important. It's a television milestone.
Well, and it's surpassing him, right? So he said it's a big deal to Tony. And so, I'm happy for him. It's the most like I poop my pants, but I'm going to tell you that it smells great in here. Kind of response that he could give. Eric has embarrassed himself and debased himself over the last 3 or 4 years pretty dramatically.
Yeah.
And while we're showing some butt, while we're showing our butts, the Hulkster jumping right into the ring. Mr. Jangle, Hogan said, hey, we're not competing with WWE or UFC because we think we can be just as big or bigger with freestyle wrestling.
Freestyle wrestling. All right.
Like dudes just rolling around.
Yeah.
That's what pro wrestling used to be. Matches were like 3 hours long.
Oh, yeah.
And it became what it is because nobody wanted to watch that.
Yeah,
it was
nobody
boring.
wanted to watch rest holds.
Yeah,
for 3
boring.
hours.
We call them rest holds.
That's why they limit Randy Orton to 20 minutes.
Holds. Yeah. So I predict great things, and by great things I mean not for them, for us.
Oh, great content.
We get to bask in this. And I don't know who that guy was that was with them, the third man, whatever his name was. By the way, did that strike anybody as bizarrely homoerotic when they were like, and we've got a third man, brother? Like, like put that in a different context.
It just ties back into the, the outsiders coming in and like, yo, you can't, you're not going to expect who the third man is. And then, it's Hogan, but
it's so bad. It's so bad. Justin's in the chat, though. Huh?
Oh, hey there. I missed that one.
Justin,
how you doing today?
Fellow sick.
The only other thing I can think of, so you've heard of, like, there's supposedly this underground The Game in Hollywood where they have, like, humiliation rituals you have to go through.
Oh, sure.
There was I think it was, there was a movie about it.
Uh-huh.
And I think there was a guest on Talk is Jericho a couple years ago that was apparently involved in it.
Okay.
But there's like certain like public humiliation rituals you have to go through to prove like whatever to this game, and then you get money or advancement in your career. And hello, camera. Boop.
Don't boop me.
And I'm thinking, like, is that what this is? Like, are they actually
like they
have to humiliate themselves in public to actually get back somewhere again?
Like, if you guys want to be in the entertainment business, you need to pretend that you're actually starting this company.
Yeah, you gotta put everything you have behind this and make people believe it. Because it just, I don't see any other, especially
Eric Bischoff is famously terrible with money.
Yeah.
If you've ever heard his podcast, when it first started, and he hadn't been around like constantly for like a long time, he had a little bit of humility, so it was kind of listenable for a while. And the Sonola American Shoot Wrestling Troubles is saying, what? Anyway, he's famously terrible with money. He was talking about when he had a helicopter and when he had a plane, and he always follows it up by saying, yeah, I don't have those anymore. Because he has to sell them.
Oh, yeah, why would you need those?
Yeah. Yeah. I just I hate what I am planning will be a very short venture into the world of American freestyle wrestling with Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. It's like I'm not gonna sit here every week in and week out and watch it and tell everybody how much I hate it, how terrible it is, because that's not the point of what I'm trying to do. It was like, I would rather just talk about the things I genuinely enjoy. Mm-hmm. But I do want to talk about news, and this is newsworthy because it's dumb.
It's really bad.
It's real dumb.
It's absolutely horrible, and I'm never gonna watch the show.
No,
I will never watch 1 second.
I doubt it makes it to TV.
Yeah, like where is it gonna? Who's gonna air this?
They'll try to do the TNA thing and do like pay-per-views, like monthly pay-per-views.
Oh God!
And I'll probably get like 2 in, and then have to just fold it.
If they get that far.
They get that far.
Who's gonna distribute that fight? Like Triller?
No.
Well, it's such a bad idea. Just on its face, it's a terrible idea.
Yeah. Well, maybe they can, I don't know, fold it into Control Your Narrative and hold it EC3 and the recently released Braun Strowman.
Hey, Braun Strowman's available.
Yeah, there you go.
And so is EC3.
Maybe there you
go. Start talking about controlling his narrative again. Yikes.
Yeah. Well, speaking of public embarrassments, Adam Blampied is back again.
What is happening? What is happening?
Why is this?
They were on Fox and Friends?
Mm-hmm. Where are you seeing that?
Oh, Justin. Oh,
okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw the picture of them.
Hogan was on Fox and Friends.
Hogan and not Adam Blampied.
Yeah, it was like Adam Blampied. What?
Which I got.
No, they aren't new to terrible ideas, guys. It's absolutely nothing new. I think this is such a bottom of the barrel scraping idea that I think I'm a little stunned that these guys, in particular, two guys who have zero connection to freestyle wrestling of any kind.
Yeah.
Like if Kurt Angle did this, I would be like, okay, I get it. You know, if him and Chad Gable cut a promo and said, Chad, you're my real son, like I'm like, we're going to do this, I would have understood. It would have made more sense. This makes no sense at all. And they're doing an NWO style promo.
Yeah.
To announce an American freestyle. Like,
I don't know.
I just want to thank them. Thank you for giving us this content to discuss.
Yeah.
For giving me the pleasure of laughing at you. Thank you.
And after this, I don't want to hear about them again.
I really,
I'm just, it's, there's nothing. This has to be the end of the road for these two.
Yeah, I think Hogan will always be able to trade on his shit or his stuff. Hogan will always be able to get some kind of grift going. Hey, there's probably a Thunder in Paradise reunion episode he can get out of this.
Wasn't that on Turner though?
It was.
It was. If you play nice with Turner, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. Yeah, Tony Khan could probably nix that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump back over to Adam Blampied.
Yeah. From bad to worse. Yeah.
I'm not surprised he's back. I'm surprised that he's got a female co-host.
Oh God. Really?
And like the posts I've seen about it is like there's two women involved with him in this thing. One of which is in a relationship, which famously he is very respectful of.
Very respectful of. Yeah.
So people that don't know the background here, and I'll go into a little personal history. I wouldn't be here probably right now doing this if not for Adam Blampied.
Right.
It was about 10 years ago when What Culture was really breaking through on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And, What Culture Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Because people forget that wasn't the original channel. What Culture was just a, lifestyle channel.
Right.
And they just had these spinoffs like the wrestling thing, and that one took off. That's huge for them now.
Yeah, they have gaming. They have other
gaming, and the gaming channel's great. That one's still really good. What Culture Wrestling is
Simon. That's it.
Yeah. But Adam Blampied's voiceover work and the videos that he would present, really funny. Great humor, great comedic timing, but it was when he would start talking about serious stuff, and just his inflection and his tone and everything. He really cut to the heart of why wrestling is important to certain people, and it reminded me of why I enjoyed it so much. Because I just got on YouTube one day and was like, "Oh, watch some old Stone Cold stuff," and I just typed in wrestling, and boom, I found What Culture, and 3 hours later, I'm like, "Well, this is my new favorite thing."
Yeah.
So I owe a lot to to that for getting me back into wrestling in general.
Mm-hmm.
But so then they spin off him and some of the other guys.
Cultaholic.
They spin off into Cultaholic, and Adam Blampied does 3 videos and immediately disappears.
Right.
Posts a video, this big mea culpa. He shaved his head, and he's like, "Oh, I did terrible things. I was in this relationship, and I was chatting with these girls online and getting them to send pictures, and I don't know what the accent is I'm doing right now. I'm just
just
offending everybody.
I'm just appreciating it.
Yeah.
Boston by way of Australia or something. I'm not sure.
Something like that.
Yeah. Go on.
So yeah, he gets knocked off that channel. Then he jumps over to Wrestle Talk, the third of the three major British wrestling YouTube channels.
Yes, I'm ready for all those channels to fold, by the way.
Yeah. And then same thing, this weird sex pest allegations.
Yep. But that time he's like very vociferously like, I did not do these things.
Yeah.
This is not something I've done. I will not defame my accuser, but it's untrue.
Yeah.
And you should listen to her. It's just,
there's no smoke without fire.
No.
And I can't take him seriously. I can't.
No.
And again, I'm not surprised he's back. I figured he would do just a solo thing, but there's people still willing to work with him for whatever reason.
So who is he working with now? Is it his own
I don't know who they are. I think they're more on the board game side of things, because that was the other thing he was doing with Wrestle Talk and No Rolls Barred.
He's doing Parts Fun Known, right?
No, that was part of Wrestle Talk. Parts Fun Known was their kind of like goofy channel. It was all tied in together. And then No Rolls Barred was board game stuff.
Okay. Big Tim Energy said we'd be happy to know that neither he nor Tom of All Elite Wrap Up have ever been accused of any sex crimes during our 15 years of podcasting. Who knew that would be such a high bar?
Yeah,
I didn't know, Tim. I'm happy to hear that, though.
Apparently,
congratulations.
Yeah, not well liked in Germany, though, from what I hear.
Tim?
Was it Tim or Tom?
Oh, it might be Tom. Tim.
I was listening to the podcast earlier today, and I can't.
In the chat.
I was at work, so I just.
Look, I totally get it. Okay, like Tim and Tom, I like them. Would never vouch for him.
Yeah.
Other than they're not sex pests. Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Tim
yeah, we know that for a fact, at least.
That was him. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to lean over here.
I think with Adam Blampied, the thing that really strikes me is, of course, he's going to try and find some women to kind of like shield himself with. It's not surprising to me that he would be able to find a few who would work with him. It's just gross, though, to me.
Yeah.
He may feel like he needs to do it in order to like kind of provide some cover, but invariably these accusations have been made against him more than once, and so now you're just kind of like worried for them. You know what I mean? I'm worried for those ladies working with him. I'm worried for his crew because he's a pest and he's got a track record now, and this is like been going on for 10 years for him. So, you know.
Yep. I thought I had something for that. I just really don't. I'm so befuddled by this entire situation.
I was like, what am I watching here? Am I watching you have a stroke?
Buffering.
Am I watching
I'm just a little pinwheel
thought?
of death over my forehead. Basically is what was going on. One thing that makes me really mad, though. I like the name of it.
What is the name of it?
It's like Blampco.
Oh,
so that makes me think of like Ren and Stimpy and cheesy.
Yeah, no, see, that sucks. And then it sounds like it's for kids. That makes it actually worse.
Adam Blampied is not for kids.
He is definitely not for kids or adults. Really, just stay away from Adam Blampied.
Yeah, that's the takeaway basically. If you take nothing else from this podcast or this stream, stay away from Adam Blampied.
They need to have people going to schools that are like, if Adam Blampied comes near you, you don't take candy from Adam Blampied.
I'm surprised he's allowed that close to schools.
I'm not sure that he is.
Yeah, that's
let's
true.
hope not. But yeah, I think that What Culture, Cultaholic, I'll give it up to them. They pioneered kind of a style of wrestling that of wrestling YouTube that was very different and new for its time and extremely popular. I remember when Adam Pacitti and all those guys were at What Culture with Simon, and then they left, he stayed, and they formed Cultaholic, and they were great for years. And then it was somewhere like during the pandemic, like the lockdowns, like their material just really verged into like SEO bait, and it's never changed.
Yeah. I mean, it's everybody. Nobody came through the lockdown the same.
No.
For better or worse. And that was probably worst case scenario. But I remember listening to it because I had to go to work at least 2 or 3 days a week. And there's 5 people that worked where I worked, so we could all stay away from each other as much as possible.
Yeah.
But I was listening to it, and it was just like, it was grim because it was always just reporting on layoffs and firings and.
And when they break news, I mean, when they talk about news, they're like, we read the Wrestling Observer. Well, anybody can read the Wrestling Observer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
We read Fightful's free website.
Yeah. And I do appreciate Michael Hamflet will actually say, like, yeah, we're aggregators. Like, we're not journalists. We're aggregators.
Right.
Like, I can handle him, except, he's a little too high in the Fed.
They all are, honestly, like, well, all the dudes at What Culture are very like in the tank for the Fed.
Well, who's the other Michael?
I don't remember anymore. I don't remember.
Who's the guy you hate so much?
Oh, the guy who thinks he's the Bard of pro wrestling. What's his name? He used to be he's like the OG 2021. They'll never be that good again guy.
Yeah. He wrote a book about AEW within the first year, and now he hates it. Yeah, he doesn't hate it, but he can't.
He just won't shut up about it. Like, he was like AEW's biggest fan, and now he just hates it. Fuck.
It'll come to us later.
Darn it. I'll remember later when I'm not trying to think of it.
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
after we're no longer in the air.
Probably. JD? No, not JD. Are you talking about JD?
Oh, what's his name?
About JD from New York? I don't even want to talk about that guy.
No, that is not worth discussing.
Yeah.
Sad dude from New York who will say anything. Sidgwick.
Michael Sidgwick.
Maybe aside from JD, possibly the most insufferable person I've ever heard talk about wrestling. He talks about it like he's dissecting an episode of Prestige TV, which is not really the way to watch wrestling.
No.
It's just not a fair way to watch it. And Eric Gold, who I only remember from Twitter vaguely.
I don't even know Eric Gold. That one's new to me completely.
Yeah, Eric Gold, just somebody on Twitter. I don't remember much about them other than they also did that same thing where they were big time AEW fan, turned completely against it. I think in this age of like your wrestling stance is your personality, I want that to go away. Like,
yeah,
it's okay to evolve. It's okay that a product was for you and now it's not. I don't know that you need to be railing about it all the time though, either, and I get like why the British wrestling channels change, because YouTube changes their algorithm all the time and it's without warning. And you will be, if you're relying on it for money, you'll talk about, YouTube kind of tells you what you have to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, Tim. If you AEW, that'd be bad.
Backed yourself into a corner on that one.
Yeah, All Elite wrap up would not be in good shape. That is true. Or you could be like Brian Alvarez, who is another person who's turned completely against AEW and just harp on AEW all the time and drive your entire audience away.
Yeah. I mean, there's options. There's options. You can go any number of different ways.
That's true. That's true. What if you did like all elite wrap up, but you just like took a break from AEW and started reviewing like WWE Mexico? I mean, AAA.
Do we want to talk about that, or is that just it needs its own?
I think, yeah. I don't think we should talk about it too much, other than it's too bad. It's too bad. It's not.
Alvarez does segments on Conan's pot. Conan. One of the first probably 10 things I ever posted on Threads was Conan is not a source.
Yeah.
Like Conan's opinion is not a source.
Conan is he's a different level of grift. I will say that. Like, he grifts the wrestlers too. Yeah. Like, if you're from Mexico and you wanted to wrestle in the United States, for like 2 decades, you paid Conan to help you do that. So he's like a whole new level of grift. Okay. But if Alvarez is appearing on Conan's podcast, I don't know. My take is that I think a lot of people have tuned him out. I used to listen to Wrestling Observer Live every day, and he just became unbearable to listen to.
Yeah.
But yeah, AAA, I think it makes more sense to talk about it a few months from now when they've destroyed it.
When something's actually happened, it's not just
instead of us just like speculating about how they're going to ruin it.
Let's wait let the ink dry on the contracts.
Did you see El Hijo del Vikingo's name now is just Vikingo?
Oh, of course it is.
Nice.
Some things never change. You gotta rebrand somebody. You gotta give them a mononym. And I'm going to use that as a very, very stiff segue into talking about the monoculture and how that has pretty much died in our lifetime.
Yes.
So we're old enough that we experienced it in real time.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea, people that aren't aware just haven't put it together. Monoculture, there was a time when everybody pretty much had the same couple radio stations, the same couple TV stations. We went to the same bookstores. You went to the same music stores. Everybody kind of knew what was going on with all the other little pockets of entertainment and news. You had 1, 2, 3 news stations depending on where you lived. You didn't have 24-hour news. Everything was a lot more homogenized, a lot more easy access because it was all just there wasn't as much. It wasn't as finely tuned to everybody's individual niches and things that they liked. So, like, you had things like in 1983, the end of MASH saw the most people ever tune into a television show.
Right. Wasn't it like a third of the country or something?
Yeah. A third to like half of the country. There still hasn't been that many people tune into a television show.
Well, and there never will be again.
There never will be again because there's
no way to do that now.
There's Twitch, there's Tubi, there's Netflix, there's all these other there's a million streaming platforms to cater, drill down exactly to the things you like.
Right.
Like there's Retro Crush that just does 80s anime.
Right.
Not even modern, just 80s anime.
Right. And there's a whole YouTube channel for that, or a streaming channel, or whatever, And that's the thing. It's like, in a way, it's better, right? Because like it's been democratized so much more, where you can find your niche and really drill down on a very specific niche in a way that you never could before. But like when people are comparing viewership numbers for like,
the All Elite wrap up, that is getting the big numbers.
That is bringing in the big numbers. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Big Tim.
They got a. What I heard it was a 1.5 in the 18 to 49 demographic.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, a full
just
point
now from you.
Full point and a half. Yeah. It's true because it's on. It's on the internet now.
Yeah, no, it's on.
I'm a mediocre white man with a microphone, and I said something on the internet, so it's true.
Yeah, totally. No, they could clip me saying that All Elite Wrap Up brings all the girls to the yard, and I would have no control over that.
Yeah,
it's true. It's really true. Thanks for bringing that up, Jangle. But when
allegedly.
People talk about Nitro's ratings as they relate to AEW, Eric Bischoff was doing this as well. It's just a stupid conversation to even be having. And especially for him, somebody who's worked in television. He knows that,
Yeah.
It's a conversation to tell dorks what they want to hear instead of tell them the truth, right?
Yeah.
And he made some money doing that for a while,
and that's also one of the dorks being able to find what they want to hear 24/7.
Yeah,
is kind of the reverse side of that coin about the monoculture dying.
Right.
If somebody can figure out a demographic that they can drill down into,
yep,
they're gonna do it. Yep. They're gonna grift that. They're gonna make a lot of money and make a lot of people a lot dumber in the process.
If you had told me 15 years ago that there was a whole subcategory of young men who were desperate for somebody like an Andrew Tate or a Logan Paul or somebody like that, I wouldn't have believed that. But they exploited that. And from a marketing perspective, I guess good for them, but it's they are finding people to sell their bullshit to. It's not true. But we are living in this like weird gilded age again where we're living in this like like the Jungle written by Upton Sinclair about the meatpacking industry like 100 years ago. It's the same thing, but it's the internet. It's unregulated. It's bad for your mental health. It's bad for society.
And I want to throw this out there. I didn't mean to step on you, but I got to get this out before we move on.
Step away.
If you're a young person, a young male looking for some sort of role model, I'm right here. I'm the only adult on the internet. I'm going to teach you things like skincare.
Yeah.
Using deodorant.
Mm-hmm.
Being emotionally available.
There you go. Developing large thighs.
Large thighs. I'll teach you good squat form in depth.
Yeah. You're my role model.
Right? And look at you.
You've taught me
how far you've come in the past, 25 minutes, 30 minutes.
I've learned a lot.
Yeah. When we started the podcast earlier, I couldn't hear him. He had no voice. I gave him the voice. I gave him a voice, and now we can use it.
100%. You should have seen us in sound check. Like it was just Jangle getting frustrated that he couldn't hear me, and now you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, you need a microphone to be heard. Now that I know that,
that's all it is. That's all it is.
Right?
We've got at least 4 people in the chat hearing this. Oh, what is this? This is a good Big Tim energy.
Yeah.
We replaced our third spaces. We don't go out to the bars or big events or community gatherings. We hang in niche communities online that might be dangerously niche.
Yes.
I'm gonna leave that up there for a minute. That is very true. There's just echo chambers everywhere. And you fall into one real quick and not realize it.
And I think algorithmic regulation is really like if we wanted to have a healthier society, period, we would demand that every algorithmic search engine, website, anything reveals how their algorithm works unless you opt in or opt out.
Yeah.
Because like they would fight that to the bloody end. We could literally have a civil war over this because the tech bros could harness their armies of insane people to rise up against that. But seriously, algorithmic regulation would be a game changer.
Yeah,
but we're in a mental health crisis, like for real. And
definitely, yeah. It's and there's just even trying to get the basic information to start doing something about your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on the other things you've looked at online, you type something about mental health into the search engine, it's going to push you down a different funnel depending on the other things you've looked at.
Right.
The algorithm is going to work either for you or against you in some way,
mm-hmm.
And may lead you completely off the path that you're trying to go down.
Absolutely. Or yeah, I mean, and it's going to give you what it thinks you want.
Yeah.
Instead
the algorithm doesn't care if it helps you. It cares if it finds things that are going to keep you clicking.
Right. And keep you clicking, keep you engaged on the site. I mean, Facebook, for instance, right now is so desperate to keep users on their site because they're losing people like crazy that they've actually made the website deliberately worse.
It's
so
terrible.
That you're clicking around more to find stuff so that you're on the site longer, because that's how they sell advertising, is the average time you're on their space. And that's how they keep you on their site, is literally that it doesn't work. It's pretty incredible.
It's
Big Tim with the access to true mental health services in this country are behind a real big paywall, and the overwhelming majority of folks can't access it. It's very true. And I think the other thing is, so you have the, like, do I personally want to go to therapy? Right? Like my dad, okay, boomer, has never been to therapy. I think he's been to one therapy session in his entire life. Okay. It would benefit him enormously. But just even convincing him that that's an idea he should follow through on is a huge obstacle. But let's say he decided to go. Does he have that coverage? I don't even know.
Yeah.
And that's the case for a lot of people. Even the copays can be outrageous.
That's terrible too. But that actually ties back in because he only knew the monoculture.
Right.
And there was a big stigma about seeking mental health help.
Yep.
From that generation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My mom, on the other hand, my mom is somebody who's been in therapy for 20 years, and she wouldn't part with it to save her life. Look at me. I mean, I have to be in therapy. I know this. Okay. So if you can get into therapy, I think everybody should. Just as like a precautionary measure.
Yeah. I mean, even if you wouldn't look in the mirror and say, oh, I think I've got an anxiety disorder, or I'm suffering from depression, or anything like that, there's other reasons to go to therapy. There's other things you can benefit from going to therapy.
Yeah.
It's like, I would compare it to taking a low dose aspirin every day just to help with your supposed to help with your heart, circulation, and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's benefits to just taking a low dose aspirin every day. It's like, yeah, I don't have a headache. Nothing hurts right now.
It helps with.
Yeah, but this is just something that I can do for myself that just helps in a small way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and I think we are at a point as a society right now where people, I mean, let's be real. People are addicted to technology.
Mm-hmm.
People are anesthetized by technology, by their phones, by streaming, by binging, by whatevering. Okay. I'm a drug addict and an alcoholic. I understand what addiction looks like. And I think every human being in this country is battling addiction of some type or another. Even if it's just with their digital device or whatever, because it lets you tune out and it lets you become the god of your own world. That's why the monoculture is dead, right? It's because you can go wherever you want and see whatever you want at all times.
You've got your own world in your pocket at all times. You can just
and you're the god of that world.
You control that.
Yeah, and I think by extension, people have started to feel like, well, I'm the god of this world. What I do in this other world should kind of work, right?
Yeah.
And then you see a guy like Trump who's just surrounded by people constantly agreeing with him. And he's he now believes that whatever he says, I think he really is high on his own supply now and actually believes that he is the answer for everything.
Yeah. Sorry, I played that sound effect over when you were talking, but I saw this comment and I had to cheers that.
Big Tim says he's addicted to this show.
Addicted to this show. Thank you. This it makes me feel It makes me feel real good. I can't even use words. Yeah. Appreciate that.
You got Django right in the heart there.
Yeah, and right.
You've been a good influence on us all. You've taught us a lot. Like, we've all been learning just in this very session from you, the only adult on the internet.
Oh, me? I thought you were talking about Tim.
No, not Tim.
I've been learning from Tim.
Christ, what are we going to learn from Tim?
I don't know. How to get numbers.
How not to approach people in Germany?
Well, yeah. that's the Germans. That's, that's a cultural thing.
Hey, make it their fault. We know what Tim did.
This is true.
Tim, I know you, man. Okay? Can't Red Dead Redemption 2 your way out of this one.
Troubles. We will follow you to the depths of the IWC, Jangle. All right. Okay.
Yes.
Very much appreciate all the love on the show tonight. Like I said, it's just had to jump into this, just had to get the punk rock pants on and just do it finally.
Can we get a T-shirt that says punk rock pants?
Punk rock pants, yeah.
A shirt with
punk rock pants on. Let's go.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, just I do want to, as we're kind of winding down, talk about this show does definitely spun out of the Sickos Club and talking to everybody and getting back into getting comfortable talking about wrestling, getting comfortable feeling like I know what I'm talking about when I talk about wrestling. But I want the show to be more than that, because we've got the hard way, we've got sit down, shut up, mark out, we've got Bex's podcast. I'm starting to forget words again.
Don't call me diva.
Don't call me diva. Thank you. We've got Troubles with Wrestling. We've got All Elite Wrap Up. We've got. I'm trying to shout everybody out. Come on, you gotta start throwing stuff at me. So I don't.
We've got
miss somebody. If I miss any single person, I'm gonna be. Huh?
Zerpy has the podcast with Boss Man's daughter.
Okay, yeah.
The Bubba Cast.
The Bubba Cast. What's up, Bubba? Because if I miss one single podcast of our group of friends, I'm going to feel terrible about it for weeks on end.
I think we got them all.
You think we got them? I know there's somebody we're missing.
We might be. Look, it's not because it's you. It's just because there's one that we're trying to think of that's really hard to think of right now.
Yeah. Shane's all Shane's podcasts, the Ethos Network.
Yeah, the Ethos. That there was definitely that. The Ethos Network. Of podcasts. But yeah, we've so yes, you're right. So there's a lot of people talking about wrestling already. And obviously it seems like that's what you're,
I'm leading with that because, that's gonna get this group of people kind of used to, hearing me talk. But also, I do want to, there's a broader entertainment world I want to touch on. I want to, and I'm going to try to wrangle people up for it. I think next week I want to talk about the state of Star Wars.
Okay. Nice.
Andor's out. It's a good time to talk about it. Because there's another thing. Everybody's really tribal about Star Wars right now. Because there's the old heads that are like, it's only the original trilogy and like 3 books from Timothy Zahn that I like, and that's the only real Star Wars that's out there. Like, no, man, there's so much good stuff. You're just being a dork about it.
There's so much gatekeepy bullshit. At the end of the day, it's Star Wars. Like I am not a Star Wars like devotee by any stretch. I watched the OG trilogy many times as a kid. The Ewok special, like all that stuff. Like I watched the prequels, and then I was just.
So let me ask you this, because I wasn't super like I was around, but I wasn't really there for the Ewoks and the droids cartoons and that kind of stuff. Like, was there the backlash against those like there was when the prequels came out or when the Acolyte came out? Or
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know that there was the audience,
broadcast widely, but
yeah. I mean,
there wasn't no like playground like,
I can't believe there's an Ewok TV show. That's stupid.
Yeah, totally. I could totally see that happening.
Yeah. I just didn't know if that was something.
I just see people arguing about it in the IWC sometimes, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I mean, one, I'm just not the target demo for that. So, like, once people get into, and they do it with Marvel, that's another thing that I see people doing it with, or comic books, or anime, or anything. It's like, look, I know a lot about wrestling, okay? It's like kind of that thing. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend that like I don't think like, yeah, I definitely know what I'm talking about. I do. But it's still subjective. You can like what you like, you dislike what you dislike. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to, I do want to talk about wrestling with all of y'all, but I want to touch on some other stuff too, and like you having that base of knowledge and that confidence to say, I know what I'm talking about when I talk about wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I can do that with Star Wars. I can do that with hardcore and metal. I can do that with something else probably that I can't think, craft beer or something. There's a couple things I can talk about with that level of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the people that like hearing me talk about wrestling, they might hear me talk about bands that I like and go, all right, I'll check those out too. I just want to spread out the vibes a little bit and just kind of see how many nets I can cast and who's going to be interested in my. I'm not going to say hot takes. I don't like hot takes. Hot takes are just there for clicks.
You want to start a cult? I can.
Well, yeah, of course I want to start a cult.
Yeah, I mean, what? Sicko's Club is kind of my attempt at a cult, but I mean,
I'm a spin off from that cult. But like, my whole my goal in life is to have a compound in the woods, but that it's also like 5 to 10 minutes away from a shopping center.
That's smart.
Like, I want to be isolated, but also like
convenient.
I need to go to Best Buy or I got stuff to do. I got stuff to pick up. I need to get Chipotle and I need to get like some Levi's. So I want to drive 30 miles to go do it.
So like a compound within a half mile of a strip mall or something.
Basically, yeah. I don't think that's too much to ask for.
I don't think it is either. I think that's really smart. And also that you were going to do it physically, because I screwed up. I realized it later that Sicko's Club is only digital. Whoops, wrong kind of cult. Also, we haven't monetized anything.
I got merch though.
We got merch. We could sell a lot more though.
Which I realized once we started going, I hit live on this. I wasn't wearing my Sicko's hat because I got that sweet pink Outrunners hat. Well, not Outrunners. Legally distinct, vascular hat.
A vascular
sunglasses hat.
That's a really cool hat, by the way.
I love that. It goes great with the shirt.
Go to sickosclub.com to our merch store and check it out. Brett, Michelle, and Neon Ghost have designed some really cool shit there. You can even get a t-shirt of my podcast, Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out.
While you're plugging stuff, go ahead and continue plugging stuff because
Yeah, and you can listen to the Hard Way podcast with Brett, Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Brett is hilarious, cruel, knows a lot about wrestling, antagonizes me constantly. I am her lackey underling, and not happy about it, but I also produce the show, so I kind of got to be there. So I'm trying to capitalize on all that, you see. It's a very cynical attempt to just make marks of people. And then I have Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out, which I'm the co-host of with my co-host, Joshi G, who lives in Montreal. Big Tim Energy's asking if I feel safe at home. Not if Brett's around, but Brett lives about 1,500 miles away from me. So
San Diego.
Whale vagina. So check out Sit Down, Shut Up. I mean, technically, they talk about vaginas in like 5th grade.
I know. I'm gonna buy little soundboard buttons that I can plug into this.
I like this. And I'd like to come back sometime. I really am genuinely grateful that you had me on the show today.
I'm glad you agreed to be on. Like, this is a good way to start the show. You're a steady hand. We use a wrestling term there. You're a steady hand to have on board.
I'm the Sean Spears of wrestling podcasts.
You've got personality.
No, thank you.
I'm trying to think of the Oni Lorcan of.
There we go, Oni Lorcan. That's the NXT Deep Cut, baby.
Yeah, I loved Lorcan and Birch.
They were great.
They got that banger match with Undisputed Era for the tag titles. Undisputed Era left him in the ring and got the crowd chanted for him.
Yeah,
that was prime NXT was so good, and that was a big part of me getting back into wrestling as a whole, as a hobby again.
The only show that I mean, this went on for years, Jangle, is I would have Raw on, but I had the Hulu version of it on because I didn't have
that was the condensed one, right?
Yeah, it was 90 minutes. And so they'd cut like a segment, but it also just didn't have commercials. And so it'd be 90 minutes, and I would just be on my phone or doing something else the whole time, like barely even looking up. And I'd be like, oh, shit, it's over. Okay, whatever. I'd still know what happened. They showed 300 replays of everything. Same with SmackDown. And then NXT was the only thing that I could watch and really focus on.
What's a tight hour? It was a tight hour.
Yeah. And look, Triple H was a good booker when he didn't have to deal with being on a network, and he didn't have to deal with commercial breaks. He didn't have to deal with the pressures of ratings, and it was a WWE network only show, and it was heavily edited. And you know what? I'm not saying that's the only reason why, but he had a major advantage over anybody making a television show. That's very different.
Yeah. He made a basically a studio show, like the old NWA stuff, the old Jim Crockett stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was studio wrestling. And I'm mad that I never got down to Full Sail to get to one of those tapings.
I would love it if and not at Full Sail.
Because I've got family down there. I could have gone down there and visited. And
then
like, I'm down here. I'm just gonna go to watch some wrestling.
I've been looking up to you for 1 hour now.
Yeah.
And this is causing me to reconsider some things, sir. You could have gone and you didn't.
I didn't have the money.
Fine. This time, it's fine. Miss Fitness in the chat. Black and Gold NXT, baby. What else?
Hey, how long have you been here?
Yeah, exactly.
You just now saying something?
You've been lurking.
Because we're starting to wrap up, and you're now just jumping into the chat. You're going to make us go long.
Yeah, well,
we started late, so.
We're starting to wrap up.
Yeah.
Could be a 3-hour
It's not an elite
process.
wrap up. This is more of a Death Riders wrap up, so it's going to take forever.
It's like an MJF promo. Yeah.
Hey. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I am the Bobby Fish of our group, so I do feel that deep in my bones.
Because of the age thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. What was Bruno Sammartino like as a young man?
Bruno is a good kid. He's a good kid. He was in the Holocaust, so I assume he was a good kid.
That's a
wasn't alive. Anyway, lots of fun. Lots of good times.
Yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Just casual Holocaust reference.
Yeah, that's we're starting to become a episode of Behind the Bastards. Just make a dark joke right at the end.
Hey, I did listen to a 3-parter on Pol Pot today.
Oh yeah, I just finished that too. That was
good. It was good.
It was good. It was.
What a nerd.
Yeah. Pol Pot.
Like, this is a genocidal maniac who is also just a complete fucking dork.
Yeah. He's a coffee shop nerd.
Yeah.
Like that's how they all start. They're all coffee shop nerds that just get into an echo chamber.
Yeah.
About the books they're reading.
Yeah.
And they spend themselves
reading French language books. Like,
yeah.
Who do we blame for this?
The French.
That's where I go. That's usually my default. So
yeah,
I'm comfortable with that. Freedom fries, everybody.
Yeah. Oh, geez, that was.
Never forget.
Can I though?
This country great?
I would love to forget. I would love to forget that.
Yeah.
Freedom fries and W branded ketchup.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah. And now we have literally a bottle of ketchup as our president. So it's he is the ketchup of presidents.
Ketchup catching strays out here. I don't like that.
I agree. I eat ketchup. I like it.
I love ketchup.
People
always talk about like, oh, you'll grow out of ketchup. I'm like, no, I'm not.
No,
like, ketchup's great. You know what's really good on? You know what ketchup is really good on? I'm gonna look straight down the camera. Hot dogs with ketchup.
Yeah.
And American cheese on a white bun are delicious. Calm down about it, Chicago.
Also, why are people gatekeeping ketchup these days? I'm not down with that.
People started gatekeeping ketchup the same time they rebranded mayonnaise into aioli.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's dork behavior. And look, I'm a dork about a lot of things, and I admit that fully. I don't really like using the term dork because I actually like that as a term of endearment. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to call your friends a dork when they're being like excitable about something they enjoy.
Mm-hmm. It's like the word dude for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I'll call a man dude. I'll call a woman dude. I'll call an MB dude. I'll call anybody dude. Okay.
Well, that's a West Coast thing.
It's true.
That's very
But like dork kind of works the same way, except it's derogatory or endearing. I'm a dork. I'm an absolute dork.
Yeah.
Like I'm bleeding dorkishness from every pore of my body.
Yeah. There's a dork spectrum. Big Tim, there's a dork spectrum. Also, ketchup is tasty AF.
It is.
Just Big Tim energy coming in with big truths, just dropping truth bombs in the chat
Big Tim has been
all
like
night
our
long.
Third guest.
Thank you much for that. Yeah, basically like
really
Tim, next time, if you've got the time, just let me know and you want to jump in. I'll send you the link.
Yeah. Oh, Tim.
The last show, Troubles left and then came back in when I started talking about Bischoff. He was like, "Oh, tag me back in."
Oh yeah. So
tag me back in.
For anyone who missed what we were talking about earlier, let's just recap real quick because this is like
that's a good idea. We'll do a little
WWE
recap.
where we're going to show you what happened earlier in the show.
Yeah. 15 minutes ago.
Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan are imbeciles who have probably hit rock bottom by announcing a freestyle American wrestling thing.
They possibly have a humiliation kink.
And likely.
Allegedly.
Bischoff.
What else?
Does
Bischoff? He does that. He definitely does. Yeah.
He gets all his money and then he spends all his money so that he needs more money, so that he has to debase himself even more to get more money.
Yeah. And it's not even a vicious cycle because he likes it. He really likes that, I think.
He's like, Punish me, capitalism.
Yeah.
Punish
How
me.
How close to failure can I get before I pull myself up by somebody else's bootstraps?
How much juice can I get out of those 2 years where everybody thought I was really smart? It's pretty much he's been coasting on one thing he did for a really long time.
He's turned
It'll be
83
30
weeks
years
into
next
20
year.
years. Huh?
It'll be 30 years next year.
30 years?
It might be Bubba the Love Sponge's wife.
It probably is.
Yeah. Or just Bubba himself.
Yeah.
Bubba, who's probably begged the Hulkster for forgiveness. Just
Let me pose a question real quick. As far as things that probably affected the world on a dimensional level,
yeah,
there's 3 options, and I'm not sure which one I think is most likely.
Okay.
The 2012 Mine Apocalypse,
right?
Large Hadron Collider.
I picked that.
Or the Hulk Hogan sex tape.
Well, I'm gonna go. It's one of the last 2.
Yeah.
I think it's the Collider. I mean, common sense would say that is where the shift happened. And we like jumped continuities.
But when did you feel the most change
seismically?
Like, we all knew, like, okay, so when, like, the Large Hadron Collider went online, I didn't feel my body temperature change. I didn't feel something different about myself and the way I viewed the world. When I found out about the Hogan tape, I was just like, things are different now.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't feel the same about myself and the world, and I think the color blue doesn't look as nice as it used to.
That's true.
Like, a lot of things are just not the same anymore after that.
That's true. That's true.
There it is. And there it is.
It does.
The only one that has Illuminati influence. And that's why I think they're going through a very elaborate humiliation ritual right now.
It's true. Like, you need to promote this freestyle wrestling thing. No, do it to the NWO thing. You have to do it that way. And you have to run like 2 of these shows.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do at least. Yeah. And use your own money, too.
Please get mad. Please make me do it. It's
distract the masses. Have bread and circuses.
You know, have we considered that maybe Hogan's running interference for Trump on something?
I can't imagine Hogan running.
That's true.
I don't think his hips
not now,
take
especially.
No.
I don't think he ever has run. I think he's jogged a few times.
Yeah, a brisk.
He'd kind of do, that 10-foot little jog to do the leg drop.
Yeah. Well, that was mostly just he'd bounce off the ropes and use momentum and just balance.
Yeah. He is 6'6" or something, though. I mean, he's a big man.
He was. Yeah. But all those leg drops shortened him.
Yes. I hope it made him impotent, honestly. I just personally dislike the man quite a lot.
He ran from parental responsibility most of his life.
That is true. Yeah. That is a form of running. That's the kind of cardio that man is up for any day of the week. Apparently his daughter does not talk to him anymore.
Oh. I wonder why that is.
I'm not sure, but it makes me happy.
Oh, what a guy that guy is. So yeah, we talked about that. We talked about Adam Blampied coming back again.
Before he's canceled again.
Yeah. Would you talk to him? I wouldn't talk to either of the people we've talked about.
I can't figure out if I'm more scared of Hogan or Blampied, to be honest with you.
I've seen WCPW, and I think Blampied probably has better in-ring skills than Hogan.
Yes.
And also, I forgot to bring this up earlier. The Blampied Bischoff connection. Blampied is in kayfabe Eric Bischoff's son.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, there was a whole thing when they brought him on to WCPW for an episode. He was like, "My dad, Eric Bischoff."
There, and then you do that accent thing again. That's also incredibly unsettling. It's like New Hampshire and New Zealand.
It's that transatlantic accent that I.
It is.
Yeah.
I'm
Adam Blampied. I got fired for Monoculture.
I'm Adam Blampied. Madam fucking Blampied.
What was that?
It was just
that Scottish?
Yeah, indistinguishable Scottish, basically. Shout out to my Scottish ancestors.
Yeah.
Thanks for making me.
Cheers.
Thanks for making me possible.
Yeah, right? So Hogan, Bischoff, Blampied, and the Monoculture dying. Did we have any other? Did you have anything that you wanted to add to that part of the conversation? Maybe I stepped on you. You couldn't finish off with. Yeah.
Well, in a way, it's good that we have more places to go, and in a way, it's bad because nothing is like big enough to support, like especially in the arts, almost nothing is big enough to support anyone monetarily.
And that's something which brings up that's something that's been a big issue with video games.
Yeah.
There's just not. There's so many games. There's consoles, and so many ways to play games on computers and all this. You don't get a Super Mario Brothers 3 anymore.
Rarely, yeah.
A game that everybody bought.
Right. GTA 6 might be that.
Might be. But they're also like, it's going to be $80 at least.
I'm thinking higher now.
At least.
Yeah.
Because Nintendo's already popped the cork on that $80 price point.
Yeah, and so I saw Nintendo Switch 2 games advertised, like Tears of the Kingdom, for $80. Like a game that's been out for 2 years.
Yeah.
Great game, by the way. I love that game. But holy shit. Or shoot.
Yeah, right.
Holy darn. Dang.
But it's
Walla walla bing bang.
I'm annoyed that the price of games is going up. But also I do remember like Nintendo 64 games were $60.
They've been $60 for a really
like the price is held like original NES games were $50.
Right.
Sometimes the prices have held so firm.
Right.
For so long.
It feels like a drastic markup, like $20 per game.
Yeah.
But
if the prices had slowly crept up, sorry,
that's a delay that's like 30 years in the making.
Yeah, and if the prices had slowly crept up like $5-10 a generation,
right,
we wouldn't have really noticed. We would have been like, yeah, that makes sense. Like, PlayStation 2 game is going to be more expensive than a PlayStation game. Like, I get that. But they didn't really do that way.
They were making these like deluxe DVD, Blu-ray releases when people still wanted physical media that cost $50 or $60. That's like a 4-hour total, and you're talking about buying something you're going to play for 6 weeks in some cases.
Yeah.
You know, where it's
because I judge a video game based on the same way I judge buying a movie ticket.
Right.
Movie ticket's still roughly $10-15.
Right.
2.5 hour and a half to 2.5 hours.
Right.
Good value for money, I think.
Yeah.
I used to work in a movie theater though, so I'm kind of biased on like, I'll pay that. That's fine. So I see a video game that I know I'm going to play for, I play slow. I do everything in a game. So I'm going to play a game for 2-3 months straight.
Right.
Yeah, $60-$70. That's a good value.
That's a really
good
value.
Even if I bought Helldivers full price with all the extras and stuff. Helldivers too. I played it maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
But that was, 3 nights I didn't go out.
Right.
So it actually saved me a lot of money because that's,
right. Well, what do adults do? We go out to bars. We go out to movies. We go out to eat. All of that's as much as the video game,
Yeah.
So it's like
$60 one time, and I saved $80 3 times.
Right. There you go. And
that's good math.
Yeah. Yeah. Look at you. And you're a mathematician. That's like the only adult mathematician on the internet,
I do a lot of things. I'm known for doing things.
That's true.
Yeah.
You smell a lot of stuff.
I smell a lot of stuff. I scored a good deal today on a nice bottle of cologne too, so I'm happy about that.
There you go.
If a lot of people don't go to their local Burlington Coat Factory, you need to start doing that. You're gonna get. I got a steering wheel cover.
Okay.
A nice bottle of cologne for like $30.
There you go.
Total.
There you go. Ballin'.
Burlington Coat Factory. That's a life hack for these coming times.
Get yourself some cool water. Miss Fitness, no, that's not what a social life is.
Burlington
That's what
Coat
a single
Factory's
life is.
Single, bachelor life.
Hanging out by yourself, smelling good.
Yeah. I smell great right now.
You look like you smell great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it the
I smell
powerlift flag in the background or the?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what? Yeah.
It's what tipped it off that you smell great.
Yeah.
It really enhances the way it looks like you smell.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thanks.
Like that guy probably lifts, so he probably thinks he smells bad all the time, so he's going to overcompensate a little bit, which is true.
See, and I don't lift, and you
lift people's spirits.
We have different. We have different goals, right? You said, your goal was to like really focus on smelling good. And mine is, I smell bad. Can I smell worse?
And you can. If you want to start lifting, I'll teach you some stuff, and then you're going to smell real bad.
Yeah.
Real quick.
You can always smell worse. You just got to want it.
Big Tim Energy. I look like I smell confusing.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know what Tim looks like. So
like a fart in a bookstore.
I can answer that in the affirmative. Like, maybe smells great. Maybe smells like yak. Who knows?
Yeah. Like, I think it's probably like there's initial like a really good smell initially, but there's something else you're like, is that him or is that like something else in the environment that I'm smelling that's not really working with the initial scent?
That's true.
It's like a clash.
Like when you just like get the smell of patchouli for no reason.
Yeah.
And you're like, do I like this or do I hate this?
What is it? Am I at a church?
Yeah.
Speaking of churches, new Pope time.
That's true. New Pope.
Is that notes of meat?
No. There's definitely a note of venison.
Yeah.
In my apartment.
New popes. What's the over under on Orange Cassidy being the new pope? I've heard something about that going around.
Is 100%.
Also, explain to me what an over under means. I just like that term, so I start using it.
I honestly.
I think it's a gambling thing, and I hate gambling.
Lindsey Graham wanted the Pope to be Trump. He seriously tweeted that they should consider making Trump the next Pope.
Hold on. Read that comment.
Pope Mordos. Somebody is finally thinking along the right lines here. Now, Orange Cassidy is also a Pope I could go with. I think if we're being honest, Kenny Omega is really the Pope.
Ooh.
He is the god of pro wrestling, you know?
Yeah, but like that's a step down. He's already divinity.
Yeah, no. That's
so why?
So Mordos or Orange Cassidy could be the Pope because we all worship Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
Right. You're right. I wasn't thinking.
I could see Hangman.
Hangman could be a good Pope.
Yeah. I could deal with that. I think he's got the
only thing he really has any prejudice against is plants.
English moss or English ivy.
Moss. Oh man, he hates that stuff.
He hates that stuff. Yeah.
I almost swore I didn't. It's the first time.
Who else we got? RJ City. Yeah, I can see that. That's it's going to be a really campy papal city.
I don't know if we want a Pope that desperate. RJ, little insight into RJ City. Okay, this is a man who plays it cool, like he's kind of bothered by everybody. He desperately wants your validation. Desperately.
Well, yeah.
Desperately. Do we want a Pope who's that desperate? Also, do you think his like shunning of Renee is kind of an like punch you in the arm because I like you kind of thing?
Oh yeah, that's playground bully stuff.
101. Moxley.
Well, yeah, who isn't?
Yeah, I would be terrified of Moxley.
Yeah.
I'd hit Mox in the arm before I'd hit Renee in the arm. Because with Mox, you just never know. He might be into it.
Yeah, and you don't really want to. Yeah, they were like, "Oh, you want to wrestle?" Like, no, I don't. I really don't. I want to run away right now. Actually,
no.
We're gonna wrestle.
John, stop it! Stop it!
Yeah, stop, John.
Stop.
John,
I've got the cone. I've got
the
cone.
Yeah, but he's already got you in a headlock.
Yeah, exactly. He's already put me. I stopped there because I've been choked out.
Yeah, you're already asleep.
It's rough, man.
Welcome to the post game, everybody. I guess we're just gonna roll for a minute.
Yeah, we're just improving now.
Yeah, this is we've ran out of stuff to. I told myself this could be a tight hour today. It's just a nice. That's okay. There are way too many. I got a little carried away with that, but it's gonna be a nice tight hour. I didn't want to emphasize as much as I was about to.
But Joshi and I do this every podcast. We go just an hour today, and then
just an hour.
It's always like
it's always going to bleed over a little bit.
At least 15 minutes long.
Yeah. And I say like, yeah, I could sit down, I could edit this. I'm not going to. I'm just not. Because the whole idea, the type of person I am, the way I set this up, why it's streaming live, so I don't have to edit anything.
That's good.
I can just drop the audio. That's why I use Streamlabs. It already just like bumps the audio to its own file, and I can just put it up.
Performing live is a great way to just like look like you have some integrity about not giving a shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in fact,
see, you're not even going to edit that.
Edit what? I don't know how to edit. Oh,
there you go.
I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously.
Hey, that's what you do. You see, that's where I went wrong. You make a podcast when you don't know how to edit.
Yeah.
That just saves you from a lot of unnecessary work.
Yeah, I don't want to work for this. I just want to talk.
Absolutely.
Like that was the whole thing. Like everybody's like, I got talked into doing this initially because my friends are like, hey, you got a really good voice. You should do a podcast. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to do any work. So I don't want to like write a script. I don't want to edit stuff. Like I just want to grab a microphone and talk to people.
Yeah, me too. I don't heavily edit my podcast at all.
No.
I don't like say and like constantly. I do. I even know what the waveform for looks like. I can just cut it without even listening to it. I just know what it looks like.
Oh wow.
I don't edit all of them. Just really like if I do it or if I say like 14 times in a row. Like. Yeah,
you just get in that loop.
I'm so sick of myself. Help me. Help me.
I love editing. Cool. I'll send you the file. This. Yeah. You're hired.
Miss Fitness, we need to get you on Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out soon. I think it's
Misfit Mess. Have you been on any of the casts yet?
Miss Fitness was on Sit Down, Shut Up once.
Oh yeah.
Yep, with Tim actually and Tom.
Oh. I don't remember.
It was a different time. It was long ago. She was part
of
podcasts at the time.
Long ago.
But Miss Fitness kind of can't miss. But yeah, that's a voice that should be heard on a podcast very soon.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Tim.
The script. We'll show you this. Okay.
Yes, I've used a script before. You do have to pay for it. But yes,
I was going to say that's one thing. One thing I would actually, I think AI would be useful for is like podcast editing.
Oh no, I mean it is.
If you could actually train it to just go like, hey, take out the silences, take out the repetitions. Here's a sound clip of this.
That'll do that. Yeah. No, they have so many like. If something's not a word, that they just take it out. It's crazy. Miss Fitness lost her mojo. I understand, but be a guest on the show. Huh?
And be a guest on my show too. Be a guest on all the shows.
Hang out with Jangle. I mean, look, I understand.
Be my guest. Be my guest. Is that a song? I think it's a Disney thing. I don't know.
You're something to the test.
Whoop.
Right?
Oh yeah. Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Be our guest.
Be our guest.
Is it? Huh?
I think there was a teapot singing.
Probably.
That's a weird movie. It's
like name me a Disney animated movie that wasn't weird.
There's like bestiality. There's like, I mean, I'm just talking about the general themes. There's anthropomorphic dishware. Am I wrong? I'm not.
You're not wrong. Not wrong.
I'm not. I know I'm not. I've seen that movie more than once. The bestiality is why I watch it so much.
That tracks in a way I don't want to explain that I understand.
PG-13, baby.
All right, what do we got? We got
Big Tim. That's a great analogy. It's when
real quick,
like when you can't find your glasses, but they're actually on your head. Your mojo is still with you.
It's still there. It's still there. Let's do well, we still got a couple people. We got 4 people watching right now. We got a couple people still with us. Y'all have any questions?
Incredibly sexy people watching.
Yeah.
Every one of you.
Y'all have any questions that you want our takes on?
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions for us as we're about to lie about getting off the feed again?
Yeah. Well, everybody got real active right when we said we were gonna start winding down. So cool. Like, let's go then.
Let's go. Let's fucking go, bruh.
Let's go.
Let's go, bruh.
I'm ready to go. You ready to go? Let's go.
You ready to go, bruv? You want to step to this, bruv?
I was gonna laugh as soon as we started those accents. Like, I see Bex pop in the chat and just go, "Oh, never mind."
Yeah, exactly. Oh, totally. Like any self-respecting Kiwi isn't gonna listen to this shit. I was going kind of Cockney there, but
yeah.
Big Tim energy question: Why am I the only not sexy one?
Why do you think that?
Well, I said it.
Oh, okay. I missed
Tim,
that part.
it's because of our past. You know what I'm talking about. Can't go there anymore. Won't go there anymore. Call me.
Call me. It's because you smell of meat.
Well, that is true. Like a very Tim does look like he smells of meat.
Like grocery store meat or like game?
Boar.
Because there's a distinction.
That's true. Yeah, Tim, it does make sense. It does make sense. It's called boundaries. Okay. confusingly of meat even. Yes.
Okay, so game.
Game. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an indistinct, chewy meat of some type. Chewy.
Like it's
gamey.
It doesn't smell good, but it's still appetizing.
Interesting.
Tim looks
I had
like
spaghetti
elk.
with deer meat in it one time.
Ooh.
Chewy.
Yeah, I bet.
Chewy. Gamey. It made me understand what the word gamey is describing. Tim looks like elk, according to Misfit Mist.
Yeah.
I think he looks like elk in spaghetti. Beautiful elk in spaghetti. All right. I gotta stop.
You okay there?
Just the memories, you know.
Oh yeah, the sweet, sweet memories. I do live at the edge of the woods.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's all I want. I just want to live near the woods in a compound.
You want a compound close to,
a shopping center.
Mm-hmm.
Which one of you is getting arrested? I think that's
for me and Tim.
Yeah. Well, there's sirens going off.
Well, we live in different states for a reason now.
Beautiful elk and spaghetti was my rap name. That's
God damn it. I know, Tim.
Yeah, I can see the Death Row logo on that album cover already.
Spaghetti. That was 2008, Tim. That's over now.
You okay over there, Blade? Do you need to take a moment?
Might need to get some water.
Yeah. Let it go, Tim. Lifetime ago. Yeah.
Yeah. That was an Obama presidency ago.
Wow. Yeah.
2 terms. And a Trump term. And a Biden term. That's how long ago that was.
Would you say those are terms of endearment? And with that, thank you all for tuning in to the pregame. I've been Kurt Jangle. This has been my guest, iBlade Daily. iBlade, tell the people where they can find you.
Well, 1, you should know that I'm a Deborah Winger fan. And 2, you should know that I am the co-host of Sit Down, Shut Up, Mark Out, which you can find on any self-respecting podcasting service or on the U of the Tube. You can also listen to me squawk and squabble with the host of The Hard Way with Brett Michelle about wrestling. Both these shows are wrestling centered. So feel free. But we are collectively a part of Sickos Club. You can find us at sickosclub.com.
Sickosclub.com.
Sickosclub.com. Check out our writing. Kurt Jangle's a future voice of the Sickos Club Network, which we are going to record very soon. And check out our merch. It's a great way to show some love, show some support for what we're doing. We have a merch drop coming up very, very soon. So we have some brand new merch that I'm very excited for y'all to see. But that's it. That's it.
Thank you. Pleasure to have you on. Going to be back with you sooner rather than later. Once again, I'm Kurt Jangle, the only adult on the internet, the only adult on the internet.com, coming soon. If you need to find me before that, I'm Kurt Jangle on all the places that you can find when you type Kurt Jangle into the Opera browser on an old Nintendo DS.
Not the iPhone-shaped one.
Yeah, the white plastic clamshell one that looks really good.
Yep.
Good stuff. I miss that thing every day. Anyway, again, this is the pregame. Thanks for being with us. Love you. Thank you. Bye.
Those kisses aren't for you, Tim.